Howdy hot. Hot in southern India. Oh, hey, Instagram, it's me. T from the palace is taking the train to the bed. See my new background? My wisdom knot symbol. That's that background. The other side still got the passport. Because I'm an American African. In other words, I carry an American passport. I have an African mentality. Though I was born in the South Bronx. Well, that's still, whatever. Don't worry about that part. Hey, look, this is a Wednesday. Is it a Wednesday or is it a Thursday? This is a Wednesday, which means it's a World Day. I do these commentaries, like basically there's seven official commentaries every night. Like excuse me. Every night, like for instance, it's a Wednesday night, so I deal with world things. On Thursday night, it's like audio drama. That's my specialty. On Friday night, it's a week wrap-up. On Saturday, it's whatever comes into my head. On Sunday, we read from Tagore, the Indian writer. Okay, we read from this book every Sunday, and that'll be for another month because I leave Southern India beginning of May. Anyway, then on Monday, it's a me day. I talk about me. And on Tuesday, it's U.S. Day. I talk about USofA things that day. But every morning, there's a Grand Rising report, which, is sort of kerfuffled. It's whatever it happens, right? Right now, you're listening to we're in India. I don't know what they're doing. It's not a Muslim thing. They just on a loudspeaker. I think they have so many temples in India. Anything could be happening at any time. Well, let's deal with this is a serious thing. Oh boy, I should have took notes, but I don't take notes. I just talk. It's like, call it freestyling, right? But I've been doing this for so long that it happens. But because I post so much that, like for instance, was it yesterday? I kept on saying, oh man, I don't know, what's that thing that the Republicans did? They catch the lawyers when they're just in school and they put them together and then that guy Justice the black guy, he came through that. Now I know it's the Federalist Society. I know that, but I post so much that if you don't know that, if somebody says, oh, and they might yelling, it's the Federalist Society, it's the Federalist Society. I'm triggering somebody, right? Or somebody else might say, I wonder what he's talking about. Let me look up Justice Clarence Thomas about the early 70s and what that's about. See, so I say it's an educational thing, but it's really a communications thing, because I know a lot more than I let on, right? But because somebody says that I'm a turbo, I'm a turbo poster. So it's somewhere in my thing, the correct thing. And if I really get whatever, and I think people should know, I actually write in the comments something. But here's the thing. Let me start. This started really with Biden when he started letting all those folks in the country, and then there was a thing that said if they came in, they can actually become, if they join the military, they could, as a path to citizenship, right? And I'm going like, whoa, wait a second. That means somebody from some other country, they can come in and they become the military. And then, of course, the police officers that keep on gunning black people down in the United States, a lot of them, if you've been in the military, that's another straight path to being a cop, right? Now, if you come from, let me just put it, a lot of the places these people come from, they just stone cold. We don't like the melanated people in our country. We certainly don't like the melanated people in this country who have more rights than whatever. The point is, so I'm thinking, wait a second, now what's that for? That doesn't make any sense. They're going to let all these people in the military? Then I start thinking, now this is how I get whatever. I start thinking, I said, wait a second. Now, from my understanding, or where this is leading me, is that the military started to be different when Vietnam came along, when they had the Green Berets, because up until then the military was just fodder. You know what I mean? Like some general would say, go that way, and then all the army would go that way and see where the fire, where they're getting shot from. They say, oh, we should need to adjust whatever it is. They would do that stuff. So what happened is when the Green Berets came along, they didn't have to go through that. They specialists, right? So they had a little bit more leeway. So if everybody else had a shotgun in the jungle, they could saw off their shotgun and have they had leeway, right? Then out of that, all at the same time, you had the Navy SEALs came along. That's out of the Navy, and also Vietnam came along. I think it was right about the same time. Came in the Air Force. We had pararescue, which is a whole different thing. I want to get into that, but the point is, every force has its specialty, right? Now, then they started to grow. There's other little things happening. Okay, the CIA had that little, secret army, whatever. Like they get the best training and all that stuff, right? But then a lot of then come around. I guess it really started in the not the 70s, maybe even the 70s, but the 80s. Let's call them let's call them what they are. The racist white boys in the South would intentionally send people to the military and get in special forces so they could be trained in military tactics and stuff like that. I'm just saying, I could be wrong, but it's a good story, isn't it? Anyway, so now in this day and age, as you go through the 80s and then the 90s, you have people like this Eric Princey guy, and his sister who dealt with the education system, right? He started recruiting people that, as they got out of service, they couldn't get a job or something like that. They started recruiting them for special kind of thingies, mercenaries, in other words. So let's go back. That's a good word, mercenaries. See what happens. The army or those special forces back in Vietnam, whatever have you, they're just poorly paid mercenaries because they're still doing the bidding of the corporations. Oil, whatever it is, Lyndon Johnson's wife named after a ship, an oil ship, and Condoleezza Rice named after some sort of, submarine or warship, whatever. The point is, the military does, the U.S. is backed up by its military. That's how the money system, everything is backed up by the military, right? So the military is important. So now what happens, though, now since the military is getting the way it's getting, and you got the women coming in, and people don't like that, whatever have you, but Eric Prince, a private contractor, right, can recruit the most elite of the elite, or he can sift out, from those special forces people, mercenaries. Then they go do what the mercenaries do because they're highly trained, and then you gives them additional training. Okay, you follow me so far. Okay, so now you have a situation where the mercenaries, the highly trained mercenaries, are doing the job of the military, of the U.S. military. They're getting highly paid for them, and that's what's happening in the United States. Okay, this is a microcosm of what's going on. Now you follow that logic, great. What the United States has been doing for years and years and years is trying to privatize all of those things that the government used to do. They're doing this all over the world. We got this in South Africa, whatever. Excuse me. They're trying to privatize everything, hand it over to an Eric Prince, well, he's a mercenary, but a private person, because their private people are buddies with them. Hey, I can give you the postal system. So you make laws. You make the lawmakers make laws that hamstring the postal system. They got some ridiculous thing. They got to what's stupid to get rid of the postal system so it could be up for sale. In South Africa, they burned down post offices, whatever happened. Whatever. The point is that they do stuff to make sure you can privatize stuff. Then their buddies swoop in, and it automatically costs more, as the government used to do. They don't have to do it. So basically, the United States has become a thing where people, entities, let's call them entities, take over the state for monetary purposes, right? Because all your jobs and everything else are other countries or whatever have you. But you're trained. You have a trained military in this country that keeps on being more and more trained, and they can practice all the time, because then you have the cats, these cops that practice on killing black people, or killing their citizenry, and plus, then you have a war like the Iraq or whatever, Iran war, and then you bring that military equipment back, and you got a tank running down the main street in some little town, So the point is, so this whole scheme, if you will, The United States is not supposed to be the United States anymore. Let's just put it that way. It's up for sale. Bidders will come in, they'll pick it apart, blah, 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 blah. Which brings me to the next point, which to me, I'm talking to my brethren and sisterin, right? The most important thing we can do now, because remember, we're not even getting out reparations. Well, they're trying not to give reparations. They're giving money to everybody, all kinds of people. But they say, oh no, we ain't got no money for reparations. Oh, we need to get your our one point is reparations, because that's money. Okay? Not only, well, it's money, it's other things, there's we can do things like the CIA has to open up their or FBI got to open up their files so we can see what's going on. We have a reparations conference, not we, but the CARICOM and AU, we meaning diaspora Negroes, diaspora black folks. They have a conference coming up in September, and and the African countries, they're trying to get antiquities back. But we also can make the Catholic Church open up their archives. Information is power. I'm just telling you, information is knowledge, and knowledge is power. So reparations could include a whole bunch of things: the psychological, money, opening up archives, getting back antiquities. All this stuff is under reparations. So that's why you just focus on one thing: reparations. Forget all this distraction. Oh, what are they going to do? My RAA is going up. They're going to tariff the idea. Oh, please. The point is this: if you focus on that one thing and get that one thing, because as you're doing that, what they're trying to do is take the country and take all the assets away from the country, so you have no place to go. You have nothing. You'll have nothing, and like it. There's someone else people say that, but the point is, well, that's the point. So just do stay focused, right? Stop being distracted by whatever. If they're throwing it your way and it's popular, there's enough people to deal with it. But we need our special forces. Let's put it that way. Be a special force. And your focus is reparations, because only reparations will lead to what I call ultimate liberation. You're looking for ultimate liberation from this pernicious, hey, big word, system that's in place. Because you got to replace this system with a system of justice, meaning that no one is mistreated, and those who are mistreated or done wrong, they get the most compensatory, the most constructive help possible to change this system. Because the system that they're operating on, the system they keep on perpetrating, is an unjust, bully, how you say it, system, and that's your focus. And you got to take away their money, or you got to take some. As they give money to everybody else, you get money. I'll end here. I keep on saying the same thing. Since you're still a citizen and you can vote, here, let me say. Remember I told you I'm an American African. I take the American seriously. Let me just move this over here. See, like this, like that. See that passport there? That's a passport. That's a passport not only to run around the planet. And people actually, run around the planet, but also I can vote, and voting, and I can talk, of course it's not illegal yet, and I can excite people and do things that other people can't on this planet because I got that passport. Not giving it up for nobody. I don't need dual citizenship. If I need anything from Africa, I need a free visa to all of Africa. I don't need citizenship in another country in Africa. I need to be able to go there and go any place I want on the planet. That's my objective. I'm an internationalist anyway. You know what I mean? I know you a bunch of people want to, they're this and that and Africa. I'm an internationalist. Think of Robert F. Williams, then you're looking at him right here, the modern incarnation except I don't shoot guns. I'm really a medic. I save lives. Anyway, that's not the point. Let me leave. Y'all take care. We'll talk to you again, and I have more to say on this subject, especially because right now my focus is everybody needs to deal with just reparations. Stop listening to what they're saying about this or that. Well, you can listen to that, but that's second, third, or fourth down the list. Your first most important thing, if you're melanated, even if you're not melanated, if you want to affect this system, Remember, the melanated people, black people, going through the whole thing, we're always the tip of the spear. We know what we're talking about. We've been fighting this thing longer than anybody. You just came here 40 years, 50 years, 100 years ago. We've been in this fight since the beginning. Built the country and been in this fight since the beginning. We know what's going on. We know the enemy. Other people's coming, you know, the dump man who you say whatever, his grandfather came, changed his name, whatever have you. They came late to the party. And then when they come, they try to alter the system. They buy people off. They start federations and stuff like that to alter the system. But the system is a system that we know. No matter how they change it, we were there when they were changing it, so we know the traps. We know what to do. I'm saying we. A lot of people, well, just happen that way. Okay, gotta go. Been talking too long. See you soon. Bye.